Hello and welcome back to another episode of Podular Modcast. My name's Tim Held, and this week we are doing something that I think we've maybe done once, and it's been a while. We're doing a swapcast, so this episode will not only be a Podular Modcast episode, but it will also be an episode of the Poundcast hosted by DJ DOUGGPOUND, aka Doug Loosenhop, and Brent Weinbach. Together they have created Pound House, which I think is one of the best things out right now. It's comedy, but it's also very surreal and dark at times, and it's really singular. It has its own voice. There's not much like Pound House. Doug also does the Office Hours podcast with Tim Heidecker. He was the editor on the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job, editor on Portlandia and the Eric Andre Show, and he actually just returned from touring as the opening act for Eric Andre on his live tour. So Doug's not just an editor, he's a musician, comedian, and he has lots of albums, links to all that stuff in the show description. And Brent Weinbach is a stand-up comedian, actor, director. He's been in a million shows. Many you've probably seen: Adventure Time, Kroll Show, Tim and Eric Bedtime Stories, Another Period, and At Midnight, to name a few. I think you should check out his films. That and his stand-up, I think, are just absolutely also singular and of their own. And I've been a fan of both of these guys for 10 plus years. If you're going to check out any of Brent's films or episodic stuff he's written and directed, I would check out Mind Jack and I Don't Dance. Amazing filmmaker. So we're going to get into this episode really soon. But before we get into that, let's check out this week's featured artist, who is Malarkey featuring Alpha Stare. What's up, Jeff? With their track Exogenetic off the album Erosion of Thought. If you would like to be a featured artist, send a WAV file of your favorite track and album art with some artist details to podmodsub@gmail.com, and then I'll edit together a little music video out of my B-roll footage like you're about to watch. So once again, this is Malarkey featuring Alpha Stare with Exogenetic. All right, thanks again to this week's featured artist. If you would like to be a featured artist on PodMod, please send your favorite track in the form of a WAV file to podmodsub@gmail.com. I would like to take a second to thank everybody who supports PodMod on Patreon. That is the main source of support for the show. If you would like to help keep the show going, head over to patreon.com/podularmodcast. Do people need to say URLs anymore? Link in the show description, right? That's all we need to say. Now let's check out a jam that I did using my electronic drum set, going through the 4MS percussion interface and expander and the board brain injector. And I'm using those modules not only to get my drum sound into the modular setup, but also to generate gates and envelopes off of the incoming signal. So I'm sending it into clock dividers and all sorts of stuff using the Neo Trinity from Bastel to clock the Catalyst sequencer from 4MS, which is sequencing the wave transformer from Earthquaker devices, using the envelopes from the two interfaces I mentioned earlier to open up VCAs, and the pulse width on the wave transformer. So basically every time my bass drum hits, we're getting the wave transformer, and the sequence is being progressed also by the bass drum hit, and the sequence is controlling the pitch of the wave transformer. Is that enough information? Oh, also the wave transformer is going into the Bastel Ikari stereo filter, and that's what's giving it its real nice honky growl. And then after the Ikari, the drum sound is going into the Mojave from Qubit. And it should be noted that I'm using the Expert Sleepers ES9 to get all of my tracks individually into my DAW so I can mix them to my liking. And then here's where it gets really interesting and annoying. Zojo showed up and insisted that he cut the video and play the guitar. He really wanted me to stress that this is him playing the guitar. So it's definitely not me playing the guitar. Anyways, that's a whole story. I won't get into it, but yeah, I think he did an okay job producing this. It's very garagey, very psychedelic. And as usual, I'm using an assortment of recovery effects on my guitar sound. So with all that, let's check it out and then get into our chat with Doug and Brent. I don't know. Enjoy.
And welcome to the Poundcast. Today we have all the way from, where are you located, Tim?
I'm in Tacoma now. When we first talked, I was in Seattle, but we moved.
Oh, all the way from Tacoma, Washington, Tim Held. And we are on your podcast. This is a
Yeah,
double. Haven't done this in a while. So we're going to be on the Podular Modcast.
right. Yeah. And Doug, you were on a couple of years ago. I think maybe during the pandemic, like lockdown era.
Yeah, I was. That's when I bought this. When I was playing, I made something with this bass line.
Oh yeah, that's Erica synths. Is that right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
that's a nice one.
started buying this gear, but with the intention of like, yeah, I'm gonna play with gear more. But I end up just using Ableton every time.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of those ruts. But there's actually, I have something here that I'm not just trying to shill, but I think you might dig this because it's like the circuit tracks. It's like a dual synth, 4 drum machines, and then has some audio ins and 2 MIDI out, so you can control a bunch of stuff, and you can like write full tracks and performances. And it's kind of like Ableton, to where like each one of the boxes on the grid will have its own piece, and you can kind of go in between. So, and yeah, and they're battery powered, so you can like take it with you when you travel and stuff, which I really like.
Yeah, you could play with it on the plane.
Play with it on the plane. Oh, you got that. Nice, dude. Nice.
This
I do.
This I have made songs with this. So
yeah.
It's hard to make a full song with it, but I do like to play with it and then record it into Ableton and then sort of like arrange it in Ableton. But it is you are correct. This is a good piece right here.
Yeah, there's like ways you can, you know how you can get like the patterns, and then with like Ableton, you can go down the grid like in the rows and get the patterns to play. You can actually get a way to chain those, so they'll just kind of play through as many times as you tell it. I think up to like 64 measures or something. So yeah, but I mean, that's like at that point, it's like, okay, well now I just push play and it plays the song. Like, I don't know, that could be appealing for some people, but
yeah, my favorite musical piece of equipment, well, besides my sampler, which I use for my live set.
What sampler do you got?
I got the Roland SP404 MK2 right now.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard that. That's pretty cool.
I also have the 404 SX, the previous one. I had 2 of those. And yeah, still this one doesn't, well, I don't want to get too into the weeds, but there's something about this that's annoying. Basically, I go into DJ DOUGGPOUND, which is like my alter ego, where I turn into an evil version of myself. And on the SX, there's a quick button right here. It makes my voice pitch down, and I can control it. This one doesn't have that.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've heard that about the new one. Like, it has like a couple features that are drastically better, but then a few of the older features are missing.
But the ones that they put on here that are like the go-to quick buttons are like, okay, delay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Then you have this resonator. I guess filter, I guess people would use that, but then you have like DJ effects looper. It's impossible to even figure out how that even works. It's so dumb. I mean,
and it's a sampler, like, but right. Well, I don't know what that. What did you say was the frequency shifter or something like that, or a spectral something?
The resonator.
Yeah, the resonator. I don't know what that is, but there may be a way to kind of like add a lower tone to your voice and make it a little creepy with that. I don't know, but
yeah.
I use
hell yeah, dude.
Brent's
is that a metronome?
This is what I use sometimes. If I want to go a Dante, I just turn it up to about 80. I go a Dante.
Yeah, you're a piano player, right?
Yeah, and then if I want to go Allegro, I just hit probably 130, 120 to 130.
What
this also takes batteries also. But
what is a Dante? Does that mean it's slower?
I think it means it's not all the way cooked.
That's al dente.
Oh, right.
Well, look, Largo is slow,
Mhm.
and Larghetto is, I guess, on the slow side too. Adagio is slower, but it's getting there. Andante picking up a little bit. Moderato is, I guess, a moderate pace. Then Allegro's picking up, and then you got Presto, which is getting even faster. And then Prestissimo. I guess that's really
Prestissimo. I like that.
Prestissimo.
Brent, I was actually curious, like, what do you use as your practice piano? Do you have an electric one, or do you have like a upright, or?
I have an electric piano, yeah. Which,
nice.
One day I'll maybe get a real piano,
Yeah.
But maybe some kind of tiny little spinette or something.
Yeah. My one of my close friends, he is a piano technician. That's his job, and he's got a concert grand in his living room, and then there's his wall, and his bedroom's on the other side, and right on the other side of that wall he has a baby grand. It's a little extra. But we went down during the pandemic.
Jeez.
He had been looking for a upright piano because they're always free on Craigslist and shit. So he wanted to turn one into an una corda. Are you familiar with those?
No, what is that?
So you know how, like, I don't know where it starts on the register, but I think in the upper mids, pianos have 3 strings per key.
Yeah.
So he took all the extra strings off, so it only has 1 string per key for the whole thing, and it just kind of, when you play it lightly with the damper pedal, it kind of has like almost like a plucked harpy, or like
a harpsichord
guitar. No, because that's like the ting ting, really tingy one.
That's really the harpsichord is plucking straight up,
Yeah, it's so it might not translate on the mic, but like. Can you guys hear that?
a little bit, yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty. It's a nice little writing tool.
I guess it almost has almost a music box quality to it, or something like that.
Kind of but yeah, if you really shaved off the like the treble frequencies, it's got a real it's almost like it's being passed through a low pass filter, like just slightly,
Huh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun.
What's that called? When it's just
una corda.
Oh, okay, got it.
1 chord, yeah. And this isn't like technically one of those, because it's like I forgot where the guy's from, but he kind of like invented these, and he's got one that's on like this 12-foot stilt, so he could have the strings be long enough. What's his name? Nils Fromm. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he made a whole album with one, and it's really cool.
I wonder if you can make a bass. Like the piano doesn't go as low as like a stand-up bass, right?
A full concert grand, I think, gets pretty dang close.
Oh, really? Because I wonder if you could play like, like a stand-up bass, but like with somehow hammering it like a piano would hammer the string.
Didn't the guy from King Crimson put sticks on his fingers or some shit? I think maybe. It's pretty goofy looking. But
all right, never mind.
You know what's interesting is the idea that when you hit a piano key, you're hitting 3 frequencies, really, that are, I guess, tuned. You're hearing, when you hear a tone from a piano key, you're hearing a combination of 3 frequencies that are kind of all around the same. They're all the same.
They're unison, though, right?
They are, but I guess what's interesting is that they could be slightly off, maybe. I don't know.
Well, my friend who tunes pianos, that's like one of the biggest issues is, I think it's because of what does he call it? It's the where it's like equal tempered harmonics or something. Like equal tempered tuning is really hard to do on a piano, and I think it's like certain areas you tune the harmonic to where it should be rather than the fundamental. And that's why, like, a lot of times, like if you're playing on the lowest and highest register, like you can kind of spot there's a little bit something off there, because the actual fundamentals, because if you tune the fundamentals in perfect unison all the way up, I could be speaking out of school here
Out of
and get this
tune?
wrong, but yeah, out of tune. Yeah. But I think the harmonics get so out of tune that they'll be like full semitones off by the time you're way up. So yeah, it's a whole fucking thing.
Well, I don't want to get too technical here because
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, but you know, we got to keep it maybe a little more broad. But
Yeah.
since we're talking gear, I could just show you a couple. I got the OP1.
I got the OP. Do you like that? Because that thing is very like people who like it love it, but I know it's very expensive.
It's so funny to go, you know, I don't want to get too technical here. I mean, we you know, we should probably keep it broad, but you know, I also have the OP1, which is like, you know, more obscure.
Well, no,
I think.
I just want to show you real quick my stuff, but the broader thing is, I like how much a lot of people buy this gear, right? Because I'm on the Reddit pages and I look at the YouTube videos, and a lot of it that I buy. And by the way, I wasn't looking for the OP1, and I won't dox anyone, but they sold it to me for $100.
What? Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
I know.
That is
So
a crazy deal.
I had to take
yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just say this: it was a wealthy person that I don't think really used it, and I was like, "Oh, you got the OP1," and he's like, "Yeah, do you want it? I don't really need it. How about 90?" He goes $90, and I happen to have 100 in my pocket.
Nice.
But I do have.
Well, yeah, I don't want to like get all technical either, but let me just tell you about my modular.
Wow.
Just joking. But I do have my electric drum set there, and I got to say, I found this website. Like I was okay at drums, but I found this website. It was ultimatedrummingtechnique.com, I think.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that
I've heard
really,
it's informative. I heard, yeah.
dude, that helped me. Like my chops got like on swole real quick with.
Oh,
that,
that's
so,
good. That's good. Yeah,
I gotta.
It's a pretty, yeah, I think it's a resourceful website. I know a lot of people go to it. You know, Dave Navarro, lots of professionals in the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's not even a drummer.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
One more piece. I mean, whatever. But I got this is my favorite. This is my favorite. All right, the Chaosilator. It's a synth, and you can just play it with a finger
right.
You can pick the key you want, and you just play it by tapping in this trackpad.
Right, and you
can't hit a wrong note.
Yeah, you pick a scale or mode, and then also can't you like assign your Y axis to like filter modulation and like all sorts of stuff like that?
That's kind of just all pre-baked in there, but I wish there was a newer one, because like that's the ultimate instrument, but it's limited with the sounds that you got some cool sounds in there, but after you use them, it's like it'd be cool if you could like tweak it. I want an instrument where I don't have to learn piano and I could just use my finger and make songs with it.
You can't edit the synth voices on it? That seems crazy to me.
I don't think so, sir.
That's the yellow one. There's a red one. I'm not sure what that. There's the Chaosilator and then like the Chaos Pad maybe or something. Or
I got the Chaos Pad too. I mean, I use that a ton on office hours.
Those are the tiny, like cheaper versions.
Well, no, there's a big one. I got the big one.
Okay.
It's I don't have it with me, but I also got the small Chaosilator right here.
Yeah, those are fun.
But I guess what I wanted to say is like I read recently that 50% of people that buy this stuff, and probably me included, if you're adding up my gear, we don't even use it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we call it GAS, gear acquisition syndrome.
Yeah.
It's really, really powerful when you get into the modular side of things, because you're buying just little boxes that do kind of one job. So you're, like buying one thing doesn't build your whole, your whole instrument. And, there's you basically the only limit is your checkbook and how old am I checkbook and how much space you have, because the case is also the power supply and all that, and they're fucking expensive. So a lot of people end up, especially like wealthy people who get into it, they'll have these enormous fucking synths. And yeah, and then I gave lessons for a little bit, and I had some students who I'm like, you're taking lessons and you just got into this, but you have like 3 times as much shit as I do. Like I actually would make them take them out and put them in a small case. Like you have picked 5 modules, and that's what we're going to do, because there's no way you're going to be able to.
Yeah. And so what comes with that, I have a milk crate filled with gear. I mean, I don't have a crazy amount. I got a few things, but I often look down and I think I kind of feel guilty that I'm not using it. There should be a term for that. Like, it's like
it's
kind of
called privilege.
you kind of feel like a loser. It's like, man, I should be making music with that, but I'm not. Why not?
Well, I mean, so like
how can people use it? There's gear more. What can they do? What are some techniques?
I think you could schedule it. It kind of, depends on personality type, but I think like a lot of people will try something out for a little bit and maybe not like go deep into the manual. I certainly have been very guilty of this and be like, oh, I'm not resonating with this, but are you getting it because you like to, like, what are you getting this gear for? Do you want to make music? Do you want to play live? Or do you just like to fuck around and just tinker and not record stuff, But if you're wanting to make music, I would suggest like really just acknowledging that this gear acquisition thing is a thing. And the best thing to do is just start really basic and try to get as much out of what you think is not a robust enough setup. Like try to get as like prove that to yourself. Like, oh, this is too simple of a setup for me to do what I want to do. And I'm going to show you that. And you would be like you in your head.
Yeah.
And then, because like something like this, like, it's $400, I think, battery powered, it's small. And, I even, would look at stuff like this before I got it. Like, oh, well, that's, I'm too advanced for that. And that's absolutely not true. This thing has been essential in my setup.
Now, Tim,
because I'm learning how to use it.
Yeah. We should probably let our viewers know that you made the outro music for Pound House season 4, episode 1, Volleyball.
Yeah.
You did the credit sequence.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Dude, that was so cool to have just for, thank you, by the way. It was a huge honor because I've loved Pound House since before I got into all this modular shit. I've been listening to you guys on podcasts. I mean, probably since like when Duncan and they had like the Lavender Hour, Natasha and Duncan, way back in the day. So it's pretty surreal even right now to be sitting here chatting with you, but to hear like you picked my favorite song from that record and just kind of the tone of that episode, like you made a new friend, but like your current friends are awful, and just kind of this forlorn kind of feeling. I don't know, I feel like it made me even like the song a little more. You see music paired right with a scene or something, or in the right context, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess if you make music nowadays, you have to have a music video.
Yeah,
it seems like you have to have a video.
Yeah.
And I thought videos were going away because when MTV went away, but it's actually videos are more important now because I guess with YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, there was a small period where music videos went away, but then they came back bigger than ever in a way, right?
I think they went away because I'm just thinking of this now, but my guess would be like we got to put like every song, we got to access every song we could possibly think of from our phone, and we had social media and everything, but it wasn't to the level of like the video. Like Instagram was very just simple pictures, and you couldn't, just shooting and editing on your phone and everything. Like all of that has just gotten so much easier, paired with all of the social media just being so video driven and clip driven. I think that's kind of what I think is going on.
Oh, for sure. And with TikTok, like musicians, they want their song to be on TikTok and go viral on TikTok, right? So
yeah. I'm actually working on a punk synth album about having adult ADHD because I was just diagnosed a couple years ago, and it's been a real revelation. Wow. But I want to make like every song like 30 seconds long, and then just cut really just make it fucking dumb, just to kind of experiment with like this format of, well, people watch 30 seconds to a minute, and seems like they're always changing, like TikTok and everybody's always changing like what they favor in the algorithm, or what they like say is the best length or whatever. It's fucking weird, dude. I don't know.
What
Yes,
is
Brent.
is there a difference between adult ADHD and regular ADHD?
I guess there is, in the sense that if you're diagnosed younger, it can be addressed a lot more effectively and easily. I was diagnosed dyslexic when I was in 3rd grade, so that was the catch-all. And as I got older, because my parents were just like, you just have to pass. So I was like, okay. So I just got C's, and that was really fucking easy, just to make sure I passed. So I didn't try at all in school, because I thought, oh yeah, well, I have a learning disability. I'm kind of dumb. And I was like, okay with that, strangely. But like, when I when I was a senior in high school, I just had one teacher kind of give me the right, like, reinforcement or whatever. Yeah. And then I went to college, and then I was like, can I get a 4.0 like one quarter? And I did. So, not to say dyslexic people can't do that, but I don't know. I just, reading like all the, the telltale signs of both, I was just like, I think I might be ADHD. And after, yeah.
What is dyslexic?
Just, well, it's kind of like
I have like a vague notion of it, like where you get kind of sentences scrambled and words backwards and things like that.
Right.
Letters.
A big thing with that is seeing or writing certain letters backwards. But like what they were saying, what my issue was, because I never saw things backwards. It was kind of like if you know the answer in your head, but you can't get it out somehow, or like I don't know. I think it's like a spectrum thing. But yeah, just kind of like a hard time focusing. There's a lot of overlap with ADHD too, so maybe I'm both. Which, yeah, but
well, how did you come to realize you have ADHD?
Honestly, because my one of my friends had a prescription for Adderall, and I just tried it, and then I was like, whoa, I can like focus on a task, like, and then, just kind of like over the years after that experience, because that was in grad school, and just kind of thinking about it and doing some research. And then I had a psychiatrist who I was seeing, and I asked if he would test me, and he's like, I don't think you have ADHD. And then I took the test, and he's like, you have full blown. Like,
what kind of things are on that test?
It's a lot of questions about like just behavioral stuff. Do you like, what do you notice? Like, one thing that I've noticed that I do, and it's, I'm like, holy shit, I've been doing that my whole life and didn't really realize that I was doing it or why. But if I'm in a party hanging out with a bunch of friends, it seems like every 10 to 20 minutes, I got to take a lap, I got to, like, even for 5 seconds, I just have to like kind of get out of the room for a second and then come back. So it's just like weird little behaviors like that. Just constantly forgetting, starting one task, not finishing, starting another, and
I think down the line. I'm pretty sure I got something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. In this age of distraction.
Well, dude, yeah,
that doesn't help.
Not at all.
Yes, Brent.
Just out of curiosity, have you ever played a video game before that's long and you can't, or can you not finish long video games? But maybe it's not a pertinent question because you don't play video games at all.
I have, as I got older, I played like in high school and stuff, like playing video games. That was definitely the case. Like,
you couldn't finish one.
I wouldn't finish it, and but there are a handful of games that I like, that I'll see through. But I think the thing is with ADHD, the reason that you maybe don't finish things, or you're not really good at like participating, and it has to do with your dopamine responses. So like a person without ADHD, if they're like cleaning up their kitchen, I need to clean the kitchen today. They'll clean the kitchen, it'll get done, and they'll get a little tiny hit of dopamine. ADHD people don't really get that unless you're super interested in the thing. So I've finished the games that I was really into. Like I've got Final Fantasy VII tattoos. Like that's not a flex. I'm a dork, but like I finished those games. Mostly RPGs, like stuff with a
Well, that's
really
the thing is
interesting
those
story.
the RPGs are the ones that take the most time, I guess. And
I think also though, because they're not like button combo, like, you know, I like turn-based fighting. So it's like, it's kind of low. It's like watching a movie that you kind of slightly interact with.
Okay.
You know how, just to go on a little tangent, do you know how like Moses had those 10 commandments that he wrote out?
On the tablets, yeah.
Yeah. He went through all the trouble to get those, you know. Do you think he had BC HD?
Oh shit.
Dude, what is the difference between what's ADD and ADHD?
I don't think there's a difference. I'm not sure. I'm also like, I want to say everything that I've said so far about all this is just kind of like what I've read and I'm not claiming to be. I could have said some wrong shit. So
Attention deficit disorder. What's the H in HD?
Hyperactivity.
Hyperactivity. Okay.
And I think because of that, like growing up, like think about when we were like, you know, middle school, elementary school age and shit. If you were the kid with ADHD or something, that was like the spazzy kid, you know, like that's, it seemed like for my whole life. And I think one of the reasons that maybe it got missed with me is because the hyperactivity thing I would be disruptive in class and stuff, but that was like my coping mechanism for not just, you know, it's not like I was super hyper. It was more just like, I can't, like it's hard for me to sit down and even watch like a full movie. Like I love Andrei Rublev, like the Tarkovsky movie, which is like 3 hours long, but I watched it over 9 nights. Which,
yeah.
But you weren't bouncing around. You weren't some Tigger kind of like bouncing around all over.
No.
Well, I think, I think, I mean, school is to put kids that are like, kids that age need to be like running around. Like the whole
not
day,
waking up that early, dude.
Schools are just wrong. They need to rethink all of that. I have some friends that put their kids into this like sort of like outdoor school, where they're like outdoors all day, and then I mean they still learn stuff, but yeah, just sitting in a desk is just so crazy to put a child like from grade kindergarten to like whatever. You're just sitting in not kindergarten, you're running around, but you know what I'm saying? Like grade school to
first grade. Yeah.
First grade.
Yeah. You're just in a desk and it seems so, I mean, seems like not right.
I mean, I guess there were desks in kindergarten too, but I feel like but you know, it's the desks that you were in, even in first grade and second grade and third grade, actually come to think, actually in all of elementary school, you're kind of sitting at those, you're not at those indiviral desks. You're sitting at the desk, the group desk, you know?
That's true.
Which is a little more fun, I guess, or something.
Brent loves the desk situation, but I think in general, I guess I heard some conspiracy about like school is designed to just program these kids into going into the workforce. You know, it makes them regimented for the bell is like, okay, time to get to the factory. It was invented to train them into this mindset of like learning how to be a minion.
I mean, go ahead, Brent. Sorry.
Wouldn't it be interesting if they allowed children to choose if they wanted to go to school or not, like to learn or not, or like to do what they wanted to do for school? So, because, you know, some people, okay, I did in high school, at least there were certain classes that I enjoyed going to because I thought I was interested in what I was learning, you know?
Yeah, me too.
And I thought that was cool. And then in college, even more so, you know, this is really interesting, this thing. Or it's interesting because people, I think, don't really care about learning about stuff until they're a little older anyway. So I wonder if it'd be interesting if you could start elementary school whenever you felt that way, you know, that you wanted to learn stuff. And so you could be a grown adult and go, I think I'm going to go to school, and you go to kindergarten, as a whatever, a 30-year-old. And then you go, and you could quickly probably learn stuff and go through the rank. You could go through the process a lot quicker than you would as a kid. But I wonder what the world would be like if a lot of people just didn't even go to school because they didn't want to, or something like that. Or what if you could start working as a child early if you wanted to,
Maybe they got to have, I'm not saying nobody should go to school at all, but I mean, kids probably need to learn how to read and write. We start with the basics. Once they got that, you can have a general just class of like, we're going to do a little bit of math. We're going to do a little bit of this. We're going to do a little bit of art. We're going to do a little bit of home economics. And they should also be teaching kids about like
home economics,
paying bills, and like how does it work?
Home economics. That's
rent
cooking.
And
yeah.
Should you worry about interest rates?
You do a little bit of everything. You learn about.
I guess math is pretty.
You learn a little bit about business, the way businesses work, and just the way the world works. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, at the end of the semester, they're like, which did you like? And then you start, and then you become a master by the time you're out of high school.
Yeah, well, then I think there's like also like I like that, but there's this idea like imagine you at 18, like you're picking what you're deciding to do for the rest of your life.
Well, that's weird too, but
that's weird.
At the same time, yeah, I mean,
not necessarily. You still don't have to pick what you want, but you would probably know better what you like, because I know
that's true.
When I went into college, I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I knew a general art. I wanted to be creative in a way, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. I didn't go straight into film school until I went to junior college, and then I got into it. That. Anyway.
By the way, I don't want to sound like I'm just saying, what if that was the world? I'm for school. I think, let's get these kids educated,
I'm
for it, but I'm just saying it would be
I'm definitely pro education, but maybe there's a better way to teach. Maybe
we have terrible education here. But yeah. Also, I think the hours of school, like they're built around the workforce, right? And logistically,
kids don't need to be getting up at 6 a.m.
The hours are
that's
supposed to
sleep for like 12 hours, dude.
We need to change the hours.
Got to change those hours.
Those hours need to change. Look, I think you could keep school the same. You know what they need to do is they need to break the classes up. You have to have longer breaks so that if you can take naps in between classes, that could work for me, because you see, that was my big issue in high school, was staying up certain periods. I would just get really sleepy during certain periods and I couldn't stay awake. And that's why in college I scheduled my classes so that I could take little naps in between classes and I wouldn't have that problem.
Yeah, for sure. I used to fall asleep during, what's it called when you have like a period where you're just like study hall,
Well, or a recess, or
that would be sleep time.
Sometimes they would call it nutrition. I would eat my lunch usually during that time, which was around 10:30 or something like that. So when I got into the third period, I was digesting, I guess, or something. And
you're in a food club.
I remember U.S. history. There's some interesting stuff going on, probably, that he's talking about. But I just was falling asleep. I could not stay up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
we got to change those hours.
I think that's the thing, man. But then we need babysitters.
Tim, as I've told you, we like to solve people's problems. And I ask our guests to bring anything that might annoy them, or anything you'd like to discuss, and we'll fix it for you. And I'll start off with one because it relates to games. Because I have a few games on my phone. I don't have a home game system, but I have some games on my phone. I like puzzle games and stuff like that.
Don't you have an Atari 2600?
I used to.
Oh, it's not anymore. Okay.
No, I don't have one.
Do you do the spelling bee and the connections and all that?
I do those. Yeah, I do. I do those. Those are fun. Connections is fun. I don't do spelling bee too much because I don't like.
That's my jam.
You don't know where it ends. It's just sort of.
Well, go to hints. If you go to hints, it'll tell you how many words there are. How many?
I like to see like a time thing where it's like, how far am I getting to the? You know what I mean? I guess I could do that, but anyway, that's not my favorite. I like the crossword, but
How did you feel about the connections when they did it with the emojis the other day? I thought that was some bullshit.
That was cool. That was April Fool's
You
Day.
liked it? Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that
April
was
Fool's
awesome.
Day. That's why they did it. Okay.
That was awesome.
I didn't like it, but now that I wish I would have put it into that context. I think I changed my mind. I think I do like it.
I might have failed it, but I think I got at least one of them.
I think I got a couple. Yeah,
I got
but
a couple
I didn't do well.
bars down there.
Yeah.
But I'm into that. That was you know what they should do real quick with connections? Because okay, you got to get these 4 groups of 4, right? By the time you get to the third one, you have the fourth one solved.
Right. Yeah.
They should throw a few dummy ones in there.
That's a really good idea.
You know?
Let's write them a letter, dude.
To make it a little bit like once you get to the third, the fourth one's just a layup. It's already lined up, bruh.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are. I don't know what Connections is, but I assume it's some sort of daily game or something that you play.
Daily game.
Yeah.
It has a grid of for 16 words, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. 16
And
words.
There's 4 of them. It's 4 groups of 4 that are connected, words that are connected. So if there was,
and it has a personality like their crossword puzzles. Like you have to kind of get to know the personality of the game almost, like to understand the.
So if there could be words in there like pimple, knuckle, winkle, and whatever, and they'll be like words associated with Pound House or whatever, That would be one group of 4.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, check this out. There's this game because you said there was emojis. There was this game. There's a game that I was playing. I mean, I've been playing these movie games. I'm not playing them right now, but they're the daily movie kind of trivia kind of games.
Oh yeah, the poster or the where you have to guess it in 5 guesses based off the images or something.
Well, there's a bunch. There's so many. Okay. I probably tried that one out.
I played that a few times. That's pretty fun.
Well, there's one though that's called Movie Emoji, I think, and it's neat because you have to guess the movie based on these emojis that are put out one by one. There's one that's put out. You have to guess it based on the one, and then if you're wrong, it'll give you another one, and so on. And then it also helps you if you guess a movie, it will help you with the year of the movie. So if you say the movie is from 1990 and you guessed a movie from the 70s, it'll say 76. It will say, okay, it's higher than 76, and then or whatever, and it'll kind of help you narrow that down. I think it might even help you. Yeah, I think that's it, something like that. But anyway, I've gotten that on my first try sometimes with just there's one image. It's kind of neat that there's these sort of hieroglyphic type images almost, and you're understanding what it's trying to say. It's trying to describe the movie. That's kind of fun. So that emoji thing you said kind of made me think
speaking of that, Brent, there's do you know the artist One O Tricks Point Never? I know it's a weird name. He's like,
well, he did the music to something
Good Time,
the Uncut Gems, right, or something.
Yep, yeah, he's done 2 Safdie Brothers movies.
Daniel Patton, right? I used to. He had this duo LePatton. What was it? Something in LePatton. I forgot what
it was. Was it Tim Hecker?
No, I know what you're talking about, Brent.
Tim Hecker.
He has this really cool side project that's like, is it kind of like it's almost like 80s pop music?
Right. There was a track that I like called Emergency Room. What was that? Something in LePatton or whatever. But then before that, wasn't he in Games or something like that? Or he had a group called Games?
No, I mean, he's been One O Tricks Point Never since probably 2010s or earlier, maybe like 07, 06. But he has a video off an album called R+7. The song is Boring Angel, and the entire video is a story told in emojis. And by the end of it, I feel like moved by this, and it's all just emojis. And yeah, I think you should check it out. It's pretty cool.
And by the way, Ford in LePatton is what it was.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I haven't listened to that one.
That's cool. I brought up before you guys sidetracked me for 10 minutes. I mentioned games because I have an annoyance about games on my phone. Is that this happens a lot? Is when you finish a puzzle and it gives you like some kind of stupid award. It's like, you've earned 5 golden things. It's like, blink, and it's like, click to accept. And you have to like watch some dumb animation. And it's like, just let me play the next round. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens.
Yeah.
So many games are like that. You've earned you have to like hit okay. You can't just exit out. You have to like watch the little gold go into the bucket, and then a little badge comes on to like whatever. You're collecting a new badge. And why do games have to do that? I don't care.
Doug, that is prescient the word?
Right? Do you guys
I don't know. Like
share that? Do you share that annoyance or not?
This is going to be one of my problems.
Okay.
Kind of. Very similar. But
let's hear it.
But so yes, I do. But I don't want to just cut off your problem, but mine is very similar. So yeah, I have a whole list of things that got my fucking. It's just they got my acorns on dry, dude. Fucking. So Temu, you know Temu?
Yes, I do. Yes, that app is like a game, right? It gamifies.
Dude, it's like
shopping.
It's a gamify. It's a casino. It's like a slot machine, phone game, Amazon combination, and it's kind of got me, dude. And I know what it is. I know what's happening. I get these. Ooh, hey, a free gift box, and you spin. What
you
can you get?
Spin the thing. Yeah, what's
5%, 20%. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, extra turn or $100 off. And it's always, one more chance. And then you always get the biggest prize. And it's all cheap shit. But I like the fucking thing holding my phone right now that I'm using as a camera, and the thing my camera's plugged into. Like, so I found that it's good to get like the cheap, like the stuff that doesn't need to be real high quality, like your little stands and shit like that. But do I need this, Doug and Brent? Like, did I need that?
What did you get that from Temu?
Because I needed $4 more to get free shipping, and they were fucking putting this in my face. I also have a problem with keeping track of my files, my video files. So I was actually thinking about using this for what it's for, but I don't have a fucking piece of chalk.
Well, do you shoot videos in Slate and sync up audio?
More for like when I'm looking at thumbnails, I can just see what it was and where it was at, because I tend to just like throw all my files onto drives, and then when I'm like, where's that one?
What are you shooting?
I make short films. I shoot a lot for the show, like demos. I do what I call remote performances, where I get my synth out with a battery pack and I go somewhere beautiful. And I've played in front of a erupting geyser, in front of a bison in Yellowstone.
I watched them.
Yeah, on the rim of Crater Lake.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, and honestly, just like, you know, getting into like your guys' comedy so long ago, like, you know, there's that saying, every musician wants to be a comedian, and every, you know, vice versa. Like, I want to, like, I love films. I want to be a filmmaker, but I also like understand, like, I've been honing this musical craft for a while. Like, just because I'm good at one thing doesn't mean I'm going to automatically be good at the other. So I'm just kind of like fucking around right now and just trying to make like stupid short films. And like, because like the gear tube thing, like I know what world I'm in. Like, I make my money off of, you know, advertising synths and demonstrating them. But there's just a lot of people who do that on YouTube, and a lot of people who do it a lot better than I do. So I've been trying, like, I'll make short films that are kind of the promotional thing for the piece of gear. It's like weird, rather than just be like, hey, this is how this works, because, and then I'll score the film with the piece of gear. Because I'm just trying to do something a little different.
Do you make a living by doing gear demos?
Well, the podcast through ads and Patreon, that's like half of my income. I also teach at an electrical apprenticeship. So I used to be an electrician. I went to this apprenticeship, but I hated being a construction worker. So I applied to be an instructor because I had some teaching background from grad school and stuff.
Can I ask?
So
what are you double strapped? Like,
oh dude, no, this is my dork
do you have
belt.
guns on your body?
No. So this is what my friends called the dork belt. My wife has one. It's black and it's dual flapped. This dude in France makes them or something. And you know, I like to wear my little teeny tiny shorts, and you know, I get hot in the summer. I don't like to have a bunch of shit on in my pockets.
I thought it was some sort of back brace thing or something.
No, I'm glad you asked, because I realized
for
once you were like, "Is there guns?" I don't want your audience to think that I'm sitting here like Steven Crowder with a couple fucking guns in me.
I was thinking more like, what's that Keanu Reeves movie where he's always shooting people?
John Wick.
Point
Like
blank.
John Wick over here.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought it was one of those back brace things, or one of those things that I usually see older men wearing, that it's like it wraps around your waist. You know?
To keep to keep you like up
or something like that.
Yeah,
or
I know,
it's something for lower back. I don't know. I thought it was some sort of, or I thought it was something, maybe you had some sort of back condition that you've always had, and it was just some sort of brace that you always wear.
Right. You know, you brought. I think you just solved a problem I didn't know I had. So you guys are like really fucking good at your job. This has to be addressed. You can't just show up with this, especially in this situation where you can't really see what's going on, like the cameras. And
so, okay, for the listeners,
it's got to be acknowledged.
For the listeners, Tim is wearing, at first glance, it's two straps going down his chest with some kind of holster on either side, saddlebags on either side that look similar to, I don't know what
gun holsters.
A gun holsters.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like.
Kind that go on your like the side of your chest, kind of thing.
Yeah, so like the ones that police officers, you know, detectives wear and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, you know, that's fuck, man. You guys are kind of. I had to think on this, but I hope you're not talking me into not like, because I don't want to give that vibe. You know?
I actually thought it didn't look like a gun holster thing. I thought it was. I didn't even want to ask about it, because I thought it was a private issue about your back or something like that. Or I thought it was you had a back condition or something.
I mean, but you know, if somebody had, say I did have that back condition, maybe this is just me being an asshole, but like, if I wore this color shirt with that, like, I'm kind of begging for it. Like, I honestly put these on. I mean, I wear them all the time, but I consciously kept them on because I thought they'd be a good, you know, conversation topic. But
oh, that's funny. I didn't ask about it. I specifically thought, I wonder what those straps are about. But I thought, you know what, let's not go there. Maybe it's private. You know, I don't.
Well, I thought
these are really polarizing. Is why I wanted to talk to you guys about them.
Yeah, I thought it would be a safe topic, because I actually assumed it wasn't a gun, and it wasn't because if it was a back brace, it would have that big thing around the belly, right? You know,
yeah.
Well, I thought it was some kind of utilitarian tool, perhaps a synthesizer strap or something.
It's from a guitar. Yeah, it's just like, we got to be ready at all times.
It kind of looked like a parachute, like you just parachuted into your place or something like that, you know.
So yeah, like. I mean, it's called a dork belt for a reason. Like, I realize it's not like it's fashionable, but in like.
Well, it's time to rename it. We don't want to call it that. Then it's gonna, you know, if you think you're wearing a dork belt, then you're gonna feel like
like a dork belt.
So you want to call it something. Let's rename it and take that strap back. It should be called the stud strap or something.
Yeah, call it a cock strap.
The man strap.
No, because dork means penis, so it's like cock strap. You make it sound more, you know, whatever, you know, or a dick strap.
Now, I had a thought about what we were talking about earlier about getting all this gear and getting bogged down, and then you get this paralysis about creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I read something recently that if something doesn't give you a burning desire, because people ask me like, what software do you use to edit? What do you do this and that, you know? And I think one of the secrets to being a creative person, and this is something you can't really learn, is that you got to have a burning desire.
I call it the compulsion.
You got to have a burning desire. If you have, people say
you have to do it, I think.
Yeah, like people say, I also read something recently, like people say, oh, I want to have a beach bod, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they just say that. It's like they want it, and then there's people that say, I want to have a beach bod, and then they go to the gym and then they go get it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, you have to like want it in that second way. You got to have that compulsion. You got to have a burning desire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I don't have a burning desire to play with my OP1,
Get rid of
I'm
it.
probably just going to have to sell it on Reverb
Yeah.
at a profit.
So what? Yeah, at a huge profit. What I do is, because I get sent stuff quite a bit, and you know, I know how prohibitively expensive this shit is. I couldn't afford to do it. I will like kind of let stuff build up, and then I'll do random giveaways to my Patreon subscribers. Like, hey, there are 5 mystery boxes. First 5 people to say I want one, get what's in the box. But you know, some stuff is pretty expensive, and I don't make a whole lot of money, so you know, I'll sometimes have to sell that. But you know, if it's like something where I'm like, if it was $100 piece of gear, like, I don't know, I'd rather just give it to somebody who doesn't have a lot
I hear
of
that.
stuff or
I hear
something.
that too. I have stuff that I give away to people who would like really put it to use, you know?
Yeah.
By the way,
What's that?
sorry, real quick. Oh, sorry. I don't want to interrupt that. Any more stuff about that stuff?
Well, I wanted to mention that since you brought your Patreon up, I have a Patreon that I've had for years, patreon.com/DougGPOUND.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, it's $2 to join at the lowest tier. And I kind of like once in a while will put stuff on there, but I'm going to bring that back to life. And I've enlisted Jack Birch, our own Jack Birch, to help me edit videos for that. So I'm going to be, if anyone's interested, they can check that out. And I'm going to be putting more focus on that because I don't have a burning desire to edit stuff. But if I enlist Jack, I could shoot stuff and I could delegate it to him. Anyway, it's a boring story, but I'm kind of getting into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
check it out.
Finding somebody to help out with the stuff you don't have the burning desire to do is super important. Like, maybe you have the burning desire for the final product. But
I do, yes.
It takes so much work. Like,
yes.
You guys know how much work this shit
I only
takes.
have so much time to edit and do this and that. So I'm going to experiment. It's an experiment of delegating, whatever. You get the point.
I'm kind of doing a similar thing right now. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, go ahead, Brent. I feel like
no. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just, like I started this thing called the featured artist program, not program, but just, the featured artist segment on my show where send in your music and then I'll cut some of my footage because I go on walks just about every day. I have my camera with me constantly, so just to basically practice. So I've just got like tons and tons of, I guess, B-roll type stuff, and so I just practice editing, and so they send in their music and I make a little video for the episode. And I would like, it's just so hard for me anyways, to keep on top of the, booking and then the editing and then the creating the demos, learning the modulars, so I got a person to help me out. They just basically, they handle the emails for the submitted, stuff from the artists. They put a little like MTV style graphic of information and they just send me that video with their song and information. And then I just plug that into so it's like, they're very simple tasks of, responding to emails and downloading stuff, but like, it's just one more thing off of my plate. It's been really, really useful. And I got another guy that's like helping me with cutting stuff for just like, TikTok and Instagram, because I do it weekly and it's just a lot. It's a lot of fucking work. You guys know, we've been doing this shit for a long time. So
yeah.
I had a couple closing observations. These are, not really related to what we were talking about, but one of them is related. But one is that I realized that your voice, not the rhythm of it, but maybe the timbre or something, it kind of sounds like Nick Rutherford to me.
Let me hear.
I know that name. Who's Nick Rutherford? I know that name. My
You know what
name's
I'm
Nick
saying, Doug?
Rutherford.
I closed my eyes and now I'm hearing it. Yeah. He's a friend of ours, a comedian.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
You can,
Yeah,
I think he writes on Rick and Morty, and he's on an Adult Swim show that
Dream Corp.
Which
I
edited the pilot for Dream Corp, and he was on Dream Corp.
Okay, so that's one. Two, going back to the strap thing, the first thing I thought I remembered is that I thought you were wearing a backpack kind of like a skater does. You know how skaters just keep their backpack on all the time?
Yeah.
And I just thought you were some kind of skater guy, and he just wears a backpack all the time.
I haven't left 98, dude. Got my independent truck sweatshirt on. Yeah.
Now, Tim. Yeah, back to the strap. Why not a fanny pack?
I was rocking the fanny pack for a while. I do like the fanny pack.
I don't like how it rests right on the balls.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna wear it on my actual.
I'm not
fanny.
gonna wear it on the fanny. Yeah, and then you got to sit down with it. You can't do it.
Exactly. Yeah. To be honest, I have yet to find a fanny pack that I feel like I connect with aesthetically.
Well, you know what's funny? Now that we're talking about this, I don't know if I showed these on the show before, but I've been experimenting with clothes, and you can see my sewing machine right there.
Oh, no shit. Nice.
And because I like to have pockets on all my stuff. So I take shirts. For example, you see this shirt I'm wearing now. It's your standard thermal. And I would put pockets in it, and I can go grab it and show you if you want. We could close out the show with a couple pieces that I made.
Yeah, dude, give us a.
Now, you guys talk for a second. I'm gonna go grab a couple pieces, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I used to carry a bag with me everywhere. I used to have a purse, and it's strapped around, diagonally across my chest or whatever, and it would be at my side. And that's what I had for a long time. And then I wasn't strapping, and I was just sort of holding it with my hand. But then eventually I don't want to be weighed down anymore. I want to be free. So I try to carry as least amount of stuff as possible on me. All I carry on me myself at this point are just my key. Actually, I'll leave my house key or whatever in my car. Usually I'll just my car key is what I'll carry on me. Just the one key.
Yeah.
And
then my ID or my driver's license and my and 2 credit cards. That's it. I just have 3 cards and a key. That's all I have on me. And and I put those in pockets, and I want to be free.
I totally get that. I think I don't know if this is related to my ADHD or whatever my non-neurotypicality combo is, but I've always I've a pad of paper, like the Write in the Rain, like the waterproof little notebooks. So I'll have one of those in here, a pocket knife, guitar picks, Yeah, dude, I fucking love Write in the Rains. They're awesome. So, and do I use this shit everywhere I go? Absolutely not. But I used to
do the same thing. I would carry a disposable camera in my bag. I would carry a pocket translator, for Spanish and French. Just in case I wanted to know how to say something in Spanish or French. And then I would carry a phone book that something like something like this, like a phone book, and I would carry a watch in there, just a lot of stuff. And then I just thought, I don't really use this stuff that much. And I was taking less pictures on the disposable camera. I just thought, I don't need all this. I want to go free. I want to be free.
Yeah.
I'd carry my wallet in there, of course.
And that goes back to the burning desire thing. If you think you want to be a musician or a filmmaker and you're just not doing it, it's okay. You got to cut it free. And that goes for stuff you have around your house, your shirts, that it's like, I love that shirt, but do I wear it? No, I got to cut it free. Now, you just want to see the fashion show now?
Yeah.
Ready? All right. So this used to be just a crew neck sweatshirt, right?
Oh shit. I like it. It's like white piping.
And I put some, this is really I added the zipper here. You see the zipper?
Oh shit.
And I made these pockets by just cutting a piece of colorful, funky fabric. And I got the zipper pockets.
Dude.
And of course I got these badges made on Etsy.
It's all shined out. I can't. Does it say
it's
something?
It's basically it says DOUGGPOUND, but I have these other ones that say other I got 2 different ones made. And here's the thermal that I made with the
Hell
zipper.
yeah.
Huh.
And then maybe on unzipped, we'll take this all the way down. You know what I'm saying? And this one's got pockets in it too. Zip up pockets. It's got my own branding right here.
What's on the other side of the pocket?
There's nothing funky. It's just white.
Oh, okay.
But you know,
That's pretty cool, man.
And unzipped, we'll take a look. You know, see what's down there.
Yeah.
Now here's something cool that I'm getting into next. Check this out. I always thought, because I like shirts you can zip down.
Mm-hmm.
I like that sexy look that Brent likes. And I've never seen a T-shirt with a zipper, so I made one.
Dude.
This is a T-shirt, bro, and it zips all the way down.
Dude, with that style collar too, I feel like
no, it's just a regular ass T-shirt.
Oh, okay, all right.
But this has other bag. This badge says DOUGGPOUND DJ wear. You can't really see it. And it's like way smaller than I hoped. But yeah, so I got these zip up, and you know what's gonna be next?
Zip up fucking.
No, this could solve your problem. It's gonna have pockets, bro.
Dude.
T-shirt with pockets.
I think you're onto something here. Now, maybe I need to commission you to make me a fanny pack for when it's not time for the straps.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know if I can make a fanny pack. No, Tim, I have one more thing to show you. One more secret.
All right.
That might solve some of your problems.
By the way, what about zip up briefs?
You see, I'm wearing a dude, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. The pubes would be
sexy.
caught right in there. You got to keep those pubes nice and trim. But
gotta trim that mons. Yeah.
See, we're both wearing corduroy hats now, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
See, I got this one in Australia because it got the quokkas on there, which I went to visit.
Oh, I thought those were bulldogs. I can't really see it in the.
There's these like marsupial cute animals that live on this one island outside of Perth. But you know what the cool part about this hat is? Much like a marsupial.
No way.
Got a little pouch right here.
Dude, that's where the fucking credit cards.
So
and the
you could
cash
lose.
go.
Yeah, so you can put the wallet up there. You could probably put, bringing it back to synths, you know, you could put one of these.
I was like, yeah, a pocket operator.
Pocket operator. Somebody sent me one of these, you know.
Those things are surprisingly robust for what they are, like how they appear. I think they're pretty.
It looks really like that's why I put it in this bag. I'm scared. It looks like it's there's no housing on it, you know?
Yeah.
It's also not that much. You're not saving much space with it not having housing. You know?
Right. Yeah.
I know. So
it's just put the housing on it. It's the same thing pretty much.
Let's close out the episode with some more gear real quick.
See, look, this is here's some gear.
Dude, can you spell boobs on it?
I could actually.
Eric Andre gave me this. Somebody must have given it to him. Do you know what this is?
Yeah, Landscape makes some crazy stuff. I've had
Brent, you might like this. This is you put a tape cassette in here.
Oh yeah.
And then and then these come down, and then you could like turn the cassette and kind of scratch it.
Really?
And
one spins a lot faster than the other, right? One's like way slow or
yeah. And it has these other things that when your fingers touch it, they alter the sound of it somehow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've had Eric from Landscape on the show.
I did use
Boobless. Dude, that's pretty great.
Boobless?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know about Boobless?
I didn't know about Boobless. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man, that's how we do it out here.
Yeah, Doug, all that guy stuff's pretty cool.
This thing's kind of
lame, fun,
but it's a fun little cheap thing that makes some noise.
Bring it camping.
Oh, dude, talk about camping.
That's me and my wife's like favorite thing to do.
I got the Blip Blocks, which is a
the After Dark version. I had that too.
I got the Blip Blocks After Dark.
Those things are fun as hell.
Now this I don't use, but I will use it. I've played a lot with it. It's fun. But I want to make like tracks with it because you can make it's got some cool stuff in there.
It's a real synth engine. Yeah, they sent me two of them. And I did like an After Dark performance by the fire.
Now this
Micro
I don't
Brute
use.
Or Drum Brute.
I got the Drum Brute Impact. This I
never
don't
really
use.
gelled with those.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta get rid of this somehow. But perfect condition if anyone wants it. I'll give you a deal.
Brent, I know this is like this might bring you back into the gear conversation. So I had a module made.
Oh.
of me. Like, so my friend made a joke module with this stupid picture. It's a long story. For a friend's birthday, we did a photo shoot and made a fake cult pamphlet for our friend for her birthday. So this was my character, and she made me a fake module. And then I worked for a modular company at the time. So I don't know if you noticed, we've got some switches here. But we made it into an actual thing, and we made 100 of them. So there are 100 of these floating out there in the world.
Oh, really? Cool.
It's called the Bleep Bloop 2000.
Hey, cool. Brent, there's someone else he sounds like.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's someone else he sounds like even more, Brent.
Oh, yeah. And are you going to reveal that now or on the after shit?
Should we unzip it, dude?
I might have to reveal it on the Unzipped. Get some Patreon subscribers signing up just to listen to who I think.
Yeah, who you think
he sounds like. That another person that he won't even never even heard of anyway.
Right.
This will be good though, because I've been wanting to do,
oh my God, he sounds so much like this. Once you hear it, Brent, you're gonna be blown away. You're gonna be blown away.
You know what's funny? I've never got the sounds like, but my whole life I've always been told you look like my good friend so and so.
I don't think you look like anyone. I have no look. I have no look like. I got some sound.
Well, I got a good looks like story for Unzipped as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got a lot.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories.
Oh, and on Unzipped, I have a game. I'll guess the lyrics, where I'm going to play you a cappella bits of songs. Try to see if you can figure out what the hell they're saying.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Hey, look, come on, guys. Patreon.com/Poundcast. There's a lot of fun to be had, I think, we're in store for here.
Yeah, and the Podular Modcast, you can find that where?
Everywhere you get your pods, YouTube and
what kind of stuff do you cover on that show?
I interview people who use synths, but also synth adjacent. Like I had Jason Lytle from Granddaddy on recently. I've had a couple of the Deerhoof people on. So I don't just talk about like synths. I mostly try to just talk about what you were talking about earlier, but like kind of digging into everybody's personal version of what is your like the compulsion, or what is it this thing you have to do, like where'd that come from, and
burning desire.
How did that lead you here? The burning desire. Yeah. So I try to do more of like just like a general talk to an artist. But you know, when I have a manufacturer on and they have a new thing out, sometimes it does get a little in the weeds as far as like getting pretty gear heavy.
Well, that's cool, like, because I mean, there's people want to hear about that if they're listening to the Podular Modcast.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the Unzipped part on my Patreon too, but I feel like now I'm competing with your guys' Patreon, and I don't want to step on any toes.
Please tell us your Patreon. Please.
It is patreon.com/Podular Modcast.
Now, which one's the / and which one's the, you know what I'm saying?
I think / is going like
the top of it is aiming back.
Yeah, the top's aiming back
to the left.
And / is going to the right.
Okay,
yeah,
now we got that all cleared up.
Going forward,
yeah.
It's tilting forward, kind of.
The /
Right. Tilt forward.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
To the right. I mean,
/ is when the guitarist of Guns N' Roses is driving towards his destination.
No, it's when that's the position he plays in basketball.
You just punched it up. All right, we'll see you Unzipped, and this is coming down, so you're getting ready for a real treat, baby.
Hey, thank you, Jack Birch, behind the scenes. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you guys for having me on. This has been a blast.
Hey, thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Killer guest, killer show, and we'll see you Unzipped in just a second.
All right, that's our episode. Thank you so much to Doug and Brent for the swapcast opportunity. It was really fun to just sit around and shoot the shit with two people that I've been a fan of for a really long time. So yeah, really, really cool. Go check out all their stuff. Links to everything Doug and Brent in the show description. Thank you to this week's featured artist, Malarkey, featuring Alpha Stare with the track Exogenetic off of the album Erosion of Thought. If you would like to be a featured artist on Podular Modcast, send a WAV file of your favorite track to podmodsub@gmail.com. As always, thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. If you would like to help keep the LEDs blinking over here at PodMod, head over to patreon.com/Podular Modcast. And thank you to all the sponsors: Expert Sleepers, Knobula, Signal Sounds, Novation, Bastel, 4MS, and Patchworks. That's a lot of sponsors. Thanks, guys. And if you like what we do here on PodMod, when I say we, I mean me and I guess Sojo, go support the sponsors. I'm selling you stuff. I'm selling you stuff because I need to sell myself to the people who sell stuff because they need to sell stuff to make money, but I need to sell the stuff that they're trying to sell to you so I can make money, and then you have to go to your job and maybe sell stuff to make the money so you can buy stuff. A lot of the times when you listen to podcasts or something, it's like you're kind of just like, I want to check out or just like not be in that world, and then we do this thing where we're like, hey, buy stuff. And I really wish I didn't have to do that. And I could say, well, support me on Patreon, and if we got to a certain point, but I want to support the modular making community and advertise for people who are doing cool stuff. And also, if I was just to do the Patreon thing, then I'm just selling more different same stuff. This week's secret word is neuroticism. Until next week.